Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Common Ground. I'm Jason Downs, and I'm here today. My co-host, Tim Ben Boydston. He's stepping in for Bobby Marquesa. Thank you so much for...
It is my pleasure as always, Jason. I only wish that I had your radio voice.
Oh, come on.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jason Downs. Yeah, no, I missed that. And where is Bobby at? I don't know.
We're gonna call him at some point today,
Awesome.
just for fun to see how he's doing and make sure that you get to razz him a little bit. That's always fun. But we're here. This is November 1st, Common Ground, where we can always agree on the important stuff. This is the day after Halloween, All Hallows Eve. We've got Patty in the studio here. He's dressed as Jon Snow, but he's carrying a lightsaber instead of a sword. So
yeah, I'm a little confused.
It's a little confusing.
Is that Patty O'Brien or Patio Furniture?
If you will.
Patty O'Rourke.
My name is Patty Snow. I'm trying the Jon Snow thing. My king is the king in the north whose name is Jason Downs. I can stop now.
His last name does not. It's incongruous with his sunny disposition and whatnot. I don't know what Suika means.
I actually do know the meaning.
Good. What does it translate?
So Suika is Polish, and it's actually the Polish. It's the Polish meaning for the word candle. So I'm Patrick Candle.
See, and you do not hide that light under a bushel, now, do you? Just like you got that light.
Candle.
Patrick O'Candle.
And you're Irish, right?
I am.
Then what is your last name?
What's your mother's maiden name?
Oh, her name is Murphy. Is her maiden name?
Yeah.
Don't you know?
There you
know.
Maureen Murphy.
That's what I like. So she married someone from a different country.
Maureen Mary Murphy married a Polish person. Yes.
There you go.
Suika. Am I pronouncing it correctly?
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely.
I like that now. A candle. So patio candle.
Patio candle.
So does that mean it's corned beef and pierogies? What is that?
Essentially, yeah. Pierogies are good, though.
Very interesting. Oh, yes. No, it's wonderful.
Pigs in a blanket? Is that what pierogies are?
No, it's kind of like a Polish.
Like
it's like a potato dumpling with
it's
cheese in it.
A dumpling. Sometimes they put
so I got it totally wrong.
Things in it. Yeah, completely.
Yeah.
Wait, so what is a pierogi?
It's like a potato. Like it looks like a dumpling, but it's got like potato, cheese, sometimes onion.
Looks like a dumpling.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Thank you for
it's
that.
A pastry filled with delicious things.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
See, and here I was walking through life ignorantly, thinking that a pierogi and
you can get them at the local
pig in a blanket
supermarket.
were the same thing.
You can get them in the frozen section at like your local grocery market.
Well, look, we are so glad that you've joined us here on Common Ground. Here's to a great show, a great day, and a great week for all of us. How did you celebrate Halloween, Tim Ben, by the way? Did you do anything special? You had a show yesterday, right?
Oh, we did. No, we didn't, actually. We had 2 shows on Saturday, so we didn't have to have a show on Sunday, and I was thrilled to have the day off. We all kind of dressed up a little, as people are wont to do, and stood by waiting for the trick-or-treaters. Few have actually showed up. And so, we've been, when I was growing up, and not family was a big deal going trick-or-treating because there wasn't a lot of money for treats and things. So candy at Halloween was a big, big deal. So now you come to my house in my neighborhood on Halloween, and you get full-size candy bars.
Ooh. You're one of those.
Absolutely, because I think that any kid that's out there trick-or-treating deserves everything you can give them because it's special for them. And
I agree, and we didn't get that many this year either. We probably got, I don't know, I'll say 8 total.
Yeah,
and so we didn't have the whole candy bars, which is, I mean, you guys are always the most popular in town, but but we give them a whole handful, of just a,
Oh, right. And the
bunch of
later it
grapes.
gets, the bigger the handful.
Yes.
But
Absolutely. Right. Until you're dumping the whole, jack-o'-lantern in their bag.
COVID killed Halloween again.
Oh man, no, I know, but last year was even stranger. But my son and his friend, they ran up and down our street, and what people had done last year was just put the jack-o'-lantern out on the sidewalk,
Right.
and just let people take and they were in heaven. I mean, they were.
Well, I'm sure they took like 5 handfuls.
Oh yeah, no, I mean they just came back with more candy than I'd ever seen. So anyhow, there's always a silver lining, right, Tim?
Yes, there's a silver lining. We get to have chocolate for the next week.
Yes, indeed.
It's always great.
So, do you know the origin of Halloween? Sorry, Patty, I didn't mean to exclude you. What did you do last night for Halloween?
Well, I didn't dress up. We had a Halloween party on Saturday night over at my cousin's. That was
Okay.
fun. We did have candy out for the trick-or-treaters yesterday, but primarily we were watching Sunday Night Football in the house. And also doing any trick-or-treaters. We had maybe, I want to say 6 or 7 trick-or-treaters that would come up to the door, knock, and I know it was 6 or 7 because it was 6 or 7 times my dogs were barking like no tomorrow, just someone's there. I'm like, oh, we know.
Yeah, dogs.
Yeah,
Dogs.
It was a.
Are you a dog
pleasant-
person? You and Ingrid?
Yeah, we've had a dog before. We don't currently have one, but yeah. When I was growing
one
up, we
bef-
had all sorts of animals because I grew up on a farm. But
Let me-
what the origin of Halloween
the
was that? The
origin.
so
do you-
All Hallows Eve, and it
Exact-
was
Yeah.
the church kind of took it over as a holiday because it comes from pagan roots and has to
Well,
do
it
with
started, with the
in
the Celtics. Yeah,
out there
exactly.
in Scotland and that area around there.
The Druids and whatnot.
and
they started.
They
with,
thought that you could cross over to the other side, that the line was very, very thin, and so the spirits
that
could come to
particular-
this side, and you might be able to go to the other side. So if you were close to that line, and they would dress up to disguise themselves, so that you wouldn't be able to,
Ooh.
so that they wouldn't recognize you as a human, but as something else, and you could be like a dead spirit, and so. The first costumes had a lot to do with the spirits and things like that, and so that's kind of
so
carried forward.
cool. I really think
And-
that's cool.
no,
Is that close?
Oh no, that's pretty spot on, I'd say. And then obviously, as the pagan sort of history began to sort of become out of favor, I guess, and different popes started implementing All Saints Day.
Yeah.
All Martyrs Day, All Saints Day, and All Hallows. Hallows is just another term for saints, essentially, for spirits. For
Hallowed, Hallows. I'm not sure what the Latin root is. I better not go there, because if you start doing that, then one of our numerous listeners will give us a call and say,
I hope so.
"You're
We'd
an
love
idiot."
to. We love having people call in. But yeah, no, I mean, over the years, many different pagan and all kinds of different traditions sort of came to be what we know as Hallows Eve, Hallows Evening, the day before All Saints Day. And I love that you knew that line between the spirit world, becomes thinnest on that day,
Yeah,
on that evening.
It was coordinated in that part of the world, and also here. It started out with a harvest festival,
Mm-hmm.
and that morphed into the festivals. You have them around the world at harvest time, right?
Exactly.
All getting all the crops in
Oh, yeah.
before the winter, and so at this cusp, this time, there would be a lot of celebrations with that, and so they kind of dovetailed in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and then
kinda
the
all-
trick became, they had an alternate to that, and then of course commerce got a hold of it, and that's it.
And that's it, yeah. Sure. Oh, yeah, no, sure. That happened around the 50s, I think, right? Between the 20s and the 50s.
Yeah, the 20s actually,
yeah.
it really started to go. That Halloween parades actually in the late 1800s in some towns, in some countries, and it was at least here in the States. Then it became something where they said the trick or the treat, and then the candy industry then took it off.
Yeah, I read.
new
I mean, that
levels.
was kind of interesting too. I read something that, and I think it was in the 1900s, early 1900s, that somehow vandalism started, to find its way into this holiday, and so yes, it became a
It
tradition
was-
to treat, to hand out those candy bars or what have you to avoid being, vandalized.
Yeah, the
and
roots of
whatnot.
that supposedly are that you would have the ability to trick the bad spirits. That
Oh,
it's
okay.
it's kind of a
Oh, so-
bleed over in from that whole we're dressing up as that, and we might be able to pull one over on that, and of course kids being kids, they just love that, whether it's cow tipping or some other great tradition from the Midwest.
Cow
Cow
tipping, yes, that time-honored tradition, right, of terrorizing cows, who are sleeping in their just minding their own business and off in dreamland, chewing their cud, and my cousin goes out there and just
That's it.
barrels into them and knocks away. It's
Tip
just
them over enough times, you got buttermilk.
it's such a hoot.
And a holler.
Our show is sponsored by Denny and Company, LLP, certified public accountants. They make your life less taxing at DennyLLP.com, as well as the law offices of Lou Espin. When experience counts, count on experience at espinlaw.com. So, Tim Ben Boydston, as we know, runs the Canyon Theater Guild here. He's filling in today for Bobby Marqueso. Always a pleasure to have you. Also been involved in the city politics here, and you've held office, and so thank you for your service. Obviously, thank you for your service today.
Well, thank
Tim
you.
Ben.
It is
We really
was an
appreciate it.
honor.
Yeah. So what's on your mind? I mean, because I told you that I would draw some maybe take a look at some headlines, and
Oh,
we
that's
could
good. But before
discuss
we
them.
do that, can we have like a commercial break for the Canyon Theater Guild?
Oh, sure.
Oh,
Please.
wonderful. Okay,
Always.
so there we go.
Always.
If you haven't seen Mamma Mia, you got to go see the show. It's fabulous, and over 4,000 people have booked tickets, and it is doing so well that we actually, contacted New York at MTI, Musical Theater International, got the rights to do an extra weekend. So we are doing that.
There you
We're
go.
going to be closed this Saturday, but we held it over for one more week. So you have the opportunity Friday night or Saturday matinee or Sunday matinee to come see the show. And for those who have been waiting for the opportunity to have a vaccination required passport show, we have a couple of them this weekend because some people did ask. So we added a couple where you have to show proof of vaccination. That would be Friday night and Saturday matinee. And we have Sunday afternoon, which will be our closing, which is no vaccination, proof of vaccination required. However, everyone has to wear masks. We follow all of the rules very carefully at CTG. And we look forward to seeing you. If you have not seen Mamma Mia, you will love it. You'll love the music. The cast is incredibly talented. And so there you go.
They really are such great singers.
And
It's such
it is a really wonderful show. It's going to be followed up. I hope it's not too early. Now that it's November, we can talk about this.
Yeah, that's true. November,
That we are going to be followed up by a wonderful show, Miracle on 34th Street. And I just have to ask you, Patty, do you believe?
I do believe.
Oh, there. And John, I think
Didn't even
you're
hesitate.
Are you going to believe? I think by the end of the play, you're going to believe.
Oh no, absolutely. I'm a starry-eyed believer from the beginning.
Oh, that's right. And
I think.
if you're a listener and you don't believe, nothing for you this year. Nothing in your stocking, nothing under the tree, nothing. Okay. So no, it's Miracle on 34th Street. Put you in the Christmas spirit, and if you want to see a new and rising star, Jason Downs. Yes, this Jason Downs that I'm speaking to.
The one and only?
Yes, you should get his autograph right now, Patty, because it is going to appreciate immensely.
Oh,
in a few
gosh.
weeks
I'm
after
too nervous
this
to
show
ask.
opens.
Oh my, this is going to be fun. I'm making my debut at the Canyon Theater Guild. I'm very excited,
And we are very excited to find out if you can play a lawyer on stage.
Oh boy.
As good as you play a lawyer sitting in that chair over there.
Oh well, thank you.
There you go.
Thank you. Yeah, I've only had experience on TV, not on the stage. Now that I think about it, playing a lawyer. So we'll see how I do. You'll have to be the judge. You'll
What-
come on and you can critique me. How about
Which lawyer did you play on television?
NCIS?
NCIS.
Ooh.
Nice.
Defense
Whoa.
attorney. Yeah, got to
Love that.
grill Gibbs on the stand. It was quite an honor.
Did you lose?
I did not.
Hey, he's undefeated.
Defeated.
Ooh.
Okay, let's see how it works out in at the CTG. I have a feeling
A
he
star.
might be undefeated as well. Who knows?
Oh boy. So this coming weekend is officially the closing
is.
weekend
Yeah.
of Mamma Mia. So
And
that's
we're definitely closing this Sunday as our last
Friday,
opportunity.
Saturday matinee, Sunday matinee.
Yes, and you can get your tickets by calling 799-2702 or going online. You can buy them online.
Okay.
Because we actually, about a year ago, we actually moved into the 20th century and the ability to buy your tickets online. But you can still talk to the friendly people at the box office 6 days a week, and they will help you out with anything you need, questions.
There you go. So speaking of Halloween and speaking of master men of the stage and certainly of their time, Harry Houdini died on Halloween Day.
Aw.
That's right. Let's see what.
Amazingly, yes, because he was not prepared. He was surprised.
Well, let's
And is
but
it-
but but
Wait,
but
we're
set
gonna
up
speed up
set
for
up
this?
the act though. What was his act? What
Well,
that led to his death?
Well,
What
first of all,
part of his act.
Yeah, first of all, he was a master escape artist. So
Right.
they chained him up, they locked him up, they did a million things. They put him inside of trunks, they put him underwater, they did everything to this man, and he would escape over and over again. And people were like, "Oh, how's he do that?" And he had a lot of really good magicians. And since I have played about with that, not doing shows or anything, but just played around sleight of hand because I have an uncle who's one of the founding members of the Magic Castle. So
Ooh.
I have kind of fascinated with the subject, but yeah. But
Yeah,
that's-
no,
but
I've always-
he did not die because he couldn't get out of a submerged casket. He
No,
did not.
so yeah, one of his things was he could take a really hard blow
Mm-hmm.
in the stomach from a big strong man kind of thing. You know, he wasn't a big guy,
But he
but
was very conditioned.
very
because-
physically fit,
when-
extremely physically
because
fit.
he had to wriggling out of straight jackets and things like that while
Mm-hmm.
suspended upside down, all kinds of things. Super physical, super flexible, and very muscular. And so you're right. The big thing was he would take a bean and he would big guy, any guy in a crowd say, "Go ahead."
But
hit
the
me."
key was that he had to be prepared
Prepared.
for it. So he had sort of he was in Detroit at the time, and a student came up to him and punched him in the stomach. And I believe he punched him twice.
But
And-
he wasn't prepared.
wasn't prepared
hadn't
for it.
Tensed his abdominal muscles. He had not tightened them up enough. And as you know, your muscles, one of their biggest functions of a lot of your muscle groups is to protect your vital organs.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, and so when you're in a situation, when your body's in a situation where you're about to run into something or somebody's about to run into you, you tense your body up. Your muscles become very hardened. It's an entirely different state.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he was not prepared, and he got hit.
It
really
ruptured
hard.
his appendix. He didn't die. He didn't die right away. He was then traveling,
Mm-hmm.
and started to feel ill, and eventually died from that.
Internal injuries.
Anyhow, so that's the story of how Houdini died on October 31st, 19. What was it? For some reason, I don't have it here.
Ouch, though. I can't believe he just basically almost like a sucker punch in a way.
Yeah,
It was.
a
And
That's
just,
exactly
it's
what it
just
was.
internal bleeding. It's like, ugh, gosh.
Such a waste.
Yeah, it was
Such
a waste.
tragic. He was a genius.
Performer, a genius.
One of the things that he mastered, this will be the last thing we can talk about, we can move on, but one of the things he mastered as far as the theater is suspense, right? Because he would, like when they would, put him in one of those milk cans and, he had to hold his breath and they chain it up and they close, blah, 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 and then put the curtain, pull the curtain around this milk can. He would escape from it, but he'd sit there for how long would he make the audience wait before he revealed that he had escaped?
Yeah, and then he would put they would have then he started having firemen with axes and medical personnel nearby, just
Standing by,
to break the apparatus so that he wouldn't die from lack of oxygen.
And he would say, all right, everyone hold your breath, right? I mean, he would have people would be holding their breath in the audience trying to and then of course they'd have to start breathing, and then they'd start panicking. I mean, he just milked it literally and figuratively.
That's truly what and if you ever watch a magic show today, a big magic show today, you'll see the same thing.
Exactly.
They do the same thing, and it's really about the illusion. He was free long before he gets to that point.
Yeah. They say he was back there reading a newspaper. Right behind the curtain, he was back there. Yeah, just letting people scream and fall in the aisles, let him out. Anyway, so we're honoring Houdini today, who died. Patty, will you look it up, please? Because now I can't.
Yeah, what do you want me to look? His
the year that Houdini died.
Gotcha. Yeah. Give me like 20 seconds or so. My phone is glitching. Houdini.
Let's take a break.
Yeah.
And when we come back, we'll let you know the year that Houdini died, and we'll continue talking to Tim Ben Boydston here, and we'll talk about some of the events of the day as well as something I love, just today in history, like the anniversary of Houdini's death. So stick with us right here on Common Ground, KHTS 98.1 FM and AM 1220.
It's allergy season again. You've tried it all, yet your sinuses continue to be a problem. Try something different, something holistic, something that will really work. Acupuncture. Kathleen Keneally is Santa Clarita's acupuncture and innate specialist. She's been treating many of your neighbors and their children for allergies, sinuses, headaches, and pain. Find out how acupuncture can improve the quality of your life. Call Kathleen Keneally for a free phone consultation. 252-4100. 252-4100. Acupuncture. It really works.
When was the last time you had a business insurance checkup? That long, eh? It's most likely Glenn Terry time for you and your business. Glenn Terry has been a Santa Clarita resident since 1980 and has deep roots in the community. 22 years in the insurance industry, a trusted commercial insurance specialist with LBW, licensed in 50 states. There's nobody I'd trust more. Call Glenn Terry today and set up your free business insurance checkup at 661-702-6005. Glenn Terry sticks to the mission, not the co-mission. Yeehaw!
This is Bradley from Santa Clarita Grocery, the all-volunteer grocery program serving children, families, and individuals experiencing food insecurities. Since January 2020, Santa Clarita Grocery has distributed 83 tons of fresh groceries to 4,465 families in the SCV. Santa Clarita Grocery is a drive-up, drive-through service with physical distancing in place to continue serving our community. If you are in need or looking for a charity to do the most good for our community, please consider partnering with us by donating to Santa Clarita Grocery, one of the most efficient charities in the Santa Clarita Valley. A full 99 cents out of every dollar goes directly back to the community. Santa Clarita Grocery operates on a 1% overhead and is sustained through private donations. Santa Clarita Grocery is at 21176 Center Point Parkway in the Oasis Furniture parking lot. Please visit our website, santaclaritagrocery.org, or our Facebook at Santa Clarita Grocery to make a difference in our awesome town community. 661-425-7575. Be our guest and experience the difference.
Hi, I'm Miles McNamara, Certified Senior Advisor and owner of Comfort Keepers and Home Care. Our caregivers help you in your own home. A Comfort Keeper can provide companionship, meal preparation, medication monitoring, assistance with personal care, transportation to doctor appointments, all enhancing your independence and safety in the comfort and privacy of your own home. So if you or someone you love could use a helping hand at home, call Comfort Keepers at 287-4200. That's 287-4200.
Welcome back to Common Ground. I'm Jason Downs. I'm here with Tim Ben Boydston. He's sitting in for Bobby Marqueso, who is, he's just... Where is he, Patty? Where could Bobby be?
I don't know, but I feel a disturbance in the force, almost like he's reaching out to us.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Kind of like Obi-Wan?
It's almost like a million people screamed and then were silenced.
Well, okay. So yeah, common ground where we can always agree on the important stuff, like Bobby Marqueso. Are you there? Can you hear us? Is it true
I am.
that
I wish that dial tones still existed, because I would go and then, yeah.
Oh wait,
But I did trust
let's try and
that.
do it. You can. I think you can make the tone if two people chime at the same time. So try. You do slightly like a third above me. Okay. I think we almost got it there. Do that again.
No. Is that what this show sounds like when I'm away from the studio?
I've always wanted to try that with someone. Anyway, Bobby, we miss you. We just thought
Just like when you and I are in the studio, I get to hear what it sounds like, and it's ridiculous, isn't it?
it is ridiculous. I
We're
know.
silly.
People must be listening to this thinking, "What in the world?" Anyhow, we wanted to say hi. We've got Tim Ben here, and you know what a huge fan he is of yours. And
Amazing. And what the best part of this whole thing is that I get Bobby Marquezo's paycheck today.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right.
Well, I'm sure it's well earned, my friend.
Jason
My
signed
friend
it over
with
to
the
me just a
American-
minute ago. Can't believe what your real last
My
name
friend.
is.
Yeah, I know. That's okay. My Native American friend my friend with the Native American name, the man with two names.
Tim Baden. I am Tim Baden.
My Native American name was given to me. I used to host pageants during the Hey Safari, which gathering, and they gave me my name, which is Runs with Scissors.
Runs with scissors.
I don't think that's a compliment, but that's totally a true story.
Wow. Okay. And what nation gave you this name?
This was in the Sioux Nation in South Dakota.
Okay. Wow. All right. Well, still an honor, even though they were making fun of you. Still an honor.
They chuckled when we were all sitting at the table with some of the elders. Yeah, they thought it was hilarious.
Were you running with scissors at the time, or just?
No, they just no.
They could just tell you walk the line, right? You live dangerously.
Oh, maybe that's it. I didn't look at it in perspective, I suppose. Yeah. Ooh, I like that version better. What's going on, gentlemen?
We just wanted to say hi and ask you a very important question. Do you know what year Houdini died? He died on October 31st. He died on Halloween Day.
Yeah.
But do you know what year?
Yep. 1937.
1937.
He said that with great confidence. You
He
notice
did
that?
say that with great confidence.
That's what I always do when I don't know what I'm talking
And
about.
if you didn't have the answer in front of you, you would believe it.
Is he correct, Patty Suika?
Nope.
Uh-oh.
He really isn't. I'm not even doing it for the joke. He's really actually.
Because we had Patty look it up before, during the break. So what year was it?
Yeah.
Date of death for Harry Houdini, October 31st, 1926.
26. Okay. I liked how you said that, though, Bobby. You had us. We would have ran with it.
Yeah. But he did come back spiritually for 10 years. So technically...
Okay, you're right, because they did... How many seances...
Like Elvis.
Because how many seances did they have, right? During the 20s and the 30s? A lot.
Yep, exactly.
Yes. No, you're right. You're right. I'd forgotten about that. So technically... So 1937, that's kind of when the whole seance craze died out? Is that...
Oh, no, I don't think so. I think they just stopped trying to contact him because nobody was able to ever do it. And so... Because he laid out the parameters of it. He came back during the seance.
Yeah.
He laid out what it would be to prove that it were him.
Yes.
And nobody was able to ever bring through those.
I had forgotten that, but you're right. He yes. That reminds me of the doctor who was put on the chopping block, he was guillotined, and he said, even though I don't want to die, I'm going to, for science sake, here's what I'm going to do to prove how long a human is conscious after their head's cut off. And he did, and he blinked his eyes. That's what he told him he was going to blink as many times as he could. He blinked for about 30 seconds. until he finally, But yes, you're absolutely right. Houdini laid out exactly what he would do if they were able to summon him, and no one ever was able to. That's a
right.
shame.
And I actually heard that if you were decapitated, that you could go on to seeing for at least 7 minutes.
7 minutes?
I'm not sure. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's what I've heard. How they did this, I don't know. Again, somebody would have had to volunteer.
Well, this is cheerful. I'm glad we called Bobby up.
Well,
yeah.
So,
in the spirit of Halloween, I suppose.
I do want to thank you, Mr. Runs with Scissors. I don't believe you got that from the Sioux Nation. You might have got it from Auto Nation, but
actually, Auto Nation. Actually, it was more Lakota, but still, there was many tribes. Anyway, so happy freaking Monday to you. There, my little cup of cheer.
Well, so how are you? Seriously, we mainly just wanted to check in and say hi, and I know that you're in transition. You're in the process of moving, so we just wanted to wish you well and let you know that we're thinking about you and we miss you.
Aw. Yeah, it's going well. It just is little things now, right? It's going to take up another, month or two before we finally make the huge transition. We just found a house, I think, that we put an offer on this weekend. So it's been 3 weekends in a row, every day, just 12 hours a day trying to find a house. It's crazy. So we think we found one. We did. Somebody offered on our house, so that part's going very well. And then did you mention our get-together on Saturday night, which was just as fun as always?
I did not. I'd love for you to bring that up.
Well, you and got some Rotarian members with you, including Laura Munoz, who showed up, and she brought so many great flowers. It's to the Sunrise Living Center, the facility there. Mm-hmm. And we go there once a month and sing to all the residents. And so
dance.
We did that and dance, and it still is amazing to me. So what happened is Jason wore somewhat of a see-through shirt. And
it was a dress shirt.
I'm not going to lie.
It was a dress shirt.
Boy, okay, fine, but you sweat profusely. And his shirt by the end was so dripping. You could have
soaked.
Taken it off and wrung it out.
My shirt was soaked.
That's an amazing thing. It sounds kind of sexy to me, actually. I was thinking perhaps that people might. You get an opportunity to see him on stage. Maybe he'll be doing that, working that hard. I don't know.
Was borderline obscene, but the old ladies did not seem to mind.
Yeah. They did not.
They kept dancing. They would wipe their hands.
Yeah. They were wanting a little bit of Magic Jason going on there.
At one point, they asked for just take it off. Just take it off. It'll be
exactly.
Next time I will bring a spare shirt and it will be black. And hopefully it won't be as bad. But
ladies happy. Okay, just keep the ladies happy. You just have to be careful of the ones who are on oxygen.
The point is,
turn it up a little bit,
The point is, these are wonderful people. There are elders there at the Sunrise Senior Center, and Bobby does an amazing job emceeing and singing, while a few of us go out and dance with all the residents and whatnot.
Nice.
It's a great time. It's a great time. All right, Bobby, we'll let you get back to your move, and we just wanted to send you some love and hear your voice. So we'll talk.
I appreciate that.
Hopefully, we'll talk to you next week, or you'll be here. Hopefully, don't want to put you on the spot, but
I will try. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me try.
All right. Much love, my friend. We'll talk to you very soon.
You too. All right, guys.
So, Bobby Marqueso, ladies and gentlemen. Here's another bit of history for today. All right, you ready? I love this one. This is actually for November 1st, not October 31st. The ceiling of the Sistine Chapel in Rome, one of Michelangelo's masterpieces, was exhibited to the public for the very first time in 1512, November 1st. Can you imagine being one of the first people to walk in?
1512.
1512.
And it hasn't been topped. I mean, think about that too. You know what I mean? His artistry, has stood the test of time, and it doesn't get better than that. You know, his sculptures and his work. I have just a little bit here about him. He was born in a small village called Caprese in 1475. He was the son of a government administrator. He grew up in Florence during the Renaissance and became an apprentice at age 13 to an artist there. And he demonstrated obvious talent. He was taken under the wing of Lorenzo de' Medici, and who was the ruler of the Florentine Republic at the time, and a great patron of the arts. And after demonstrating his mastery of sculpture, his first real sculpture of note was the Pietà in 1498, and then David, this is his most famous sculpture, in 1504. And that's when he was called to Rome by the Vatican to paint the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel in 1508. Anyway, incredible.
Yeah, it is.
Incredible.
Incredible. You have to kind of appreciate art from that period of time, considering that they did not have other forms of, obviously there was no television.
No radio, no television, no
photography that could capture the kind of beauty that they were painting. And it's
and
amazing today. You imagine what it was like at that time.
It must have just knocked their socks off. Because even books were not, ubiquitous.
Not readily
even if you read, which many people, did not.
They didn't know how to read.
Yeah.
The majority of people, and so that's you just didn't see. So to us, it's kind of foreign. But if you can try to imagine what that's like, you'd be like, wow, Sistine Chapel.
I think about that too in regards to Shakespeare and how amazing it must have been to be at some of those performances. I mean, he was about 100 years later from Michelangelo, around late 1500s, early 1600s, but still must have been quite something.
Yeah, to see popular entertainment, for the first time regularly, and to have someone that talented, that we are still recycling those stories today in multitudes of forms, and people are sometimes amazed that a movie that they enjoy that is the very same plot that Mr. Shakespeare dreamed up at the time and wrote so well that we're still doing them today. That's the amazing part.
It is.
So.
Well, we're here talking with Tim Ben Boydston from the Canyon Theater Guild, and if you stick with us, we're gonna try a little experiment here, because Common Ground was originally sort of born out of this idea that two people who have different views can sit down and with civility and respect talk about difficult things and find those most important aspects that we do agree on. So I don't know, we're just going to have a little fun when we come back, because Tim Ben and I have, I think, just different enough political views that it might be a great experiment. We'll see. And I have
this will be
it might
interesting.
be. Yeah. Well, let's just see.
Are we going to talk about what we're going to talk about first? Because that would be good.
Sure.
All right, good. That'll be
sure.
fun.
Yeah, we can figure that out when we come back. Stick with us right here on Common Ground, KHTS 98.1 FM and AM 1220.
Healthcare can be difficult if you're underinsured or have Medi-Cal. Samuel Dixon Family Health Center can help. Services are available on a sliding fee schedule. The mission of the Samuel Dixon Family Health Center is to give the Santa Clarita Valley access to affordable, quality primary care. There are 3 locations to serve you: Canyon Country, Newhall, and Valverde. Go to sdfhc.org for more information and to find the location most convenient for you.
Make your winter count at College of the Canyons. Pick up a 5-week class to explore new interests, transfer to a 4-year university earlier, or launch your career. Affordable online classes are offered at your convenience. Winter session begins January 3rd and registration is going on now. Seats are open in Asian art history, introduction to business, film aesthetics, intercultural communication, and more. For a full list of open classes at College of the Canyons, visit canyons.edu/schedule.
When was the last time you had a business insurance checkup? That long, eh? It's most likely Glenn Terry time for you and your business. Glenn Terry has been a Santa Clarita resident since 1980 and has deep roots in the community. 22 years in the insurance industry, a trusted commercial insurance specialist with LBW, licensed in 50 states. There's nobody I'd trust more. Call Glenn Terry today and set up your free business insurance checkup at 661-702-6005. Glenn Terry sticks to the mission, not the co-mission. Yeehaw!
Your hometown station, KHTS.
Welcome back. This is Common Ground. I'm Jason Downs talking with Tim Ben Boyston here. He has graciously agreed to be my co-host today in the absence of Bobby Marqueso. So again, as I was saying before the break, we kind of started out this whole concept here of creating a show where people with opposing opinions could come on and just see if we could have a civil conversation. It's really hard to change anyone's mind. But we do essentially always come to a place where we agree on the important stuff, whether it's our family, whether it's our safety, whether it's our, health, we can agree on these things. And it used to be that was kind of the focus. We may disagree on how best to go about these policies or best go about, the security of our country or this, that, and whatever, and we would debate those issues. And now it seems that we've transitioned into this new era where we're debating facts. We're debating whether or not things even exist, like climate change or what have you. And we don't need to necessarily talk about climate change, but global warming, let's call it, because you're right. Tim Ben and I were talking before the break about what we might talk about. Yes, there's always been climate change, sometimes extremely drastic climate change, having nothing to do, having to do with a meteor, for goodness sake.
Global warming and global cooling.
Yes, indeed. So, the debate there is whether or not it's man-made, right? This
debate is not just about
warming that we're experiencing now.
It's man-made, but also the degree of the impact of man-made. So we have to know that when we both agree that the climate changes. I mean, our history and all the things that we study tell us that the climate changes. And the question then becomes, how much of the climate change is natural climate change or cyclical climate change? And how much of it is man-made climate change? And
Absolutely.
that's the argument that is not answered, okay? And that's the science and that as it goes forward. So what they found in the past.
But speaking of science, though, sorry to interrupt, but to that point, many scientists have been studying it and trying to answer that question, and they believe that they have.
Many have
to a certain degree.
Many have.
So we can't.
And many
say
have not.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, so therein lies the conundrum. Now,
when you say many have not, would you say it's the majority or the minority?
I would have to say that it depends on what the area of science is, that when you say scientists, because as you know, different types of science study different aspects of the climate change. So when you talk about, well, that's settled science. Well, there's not really such a thing as settled science until you have empirical evidence for a certain period of time going forward. Okay, so it's very simple to be able to talk from a political standpoint. Unfortunately, it is something that's. Let me back up a little by saying politics is the art of politics is sometimes making sure that you let the persons know of what you're speaking, whatever subject is, the urgency of what it is you're saying, right? So the urgency of what you're saying, it's a very that topic is really a good one, because the urgency, as they're talking about that at the climate summit as we speak right now, halfway around the world, is there the urgency is that it's life and death. The planet's going to die, and is going to die. Well, how soon is it going to die? Well, obviously, Mr. Gore and some other people kind of got it wrong. The levels of the oceans and the, all of that hyperness that people put into their argument early on, whether they were just speaking off the cuff, whether they were just trying to tell you how important it is, because it might not really be 12 years, it might be not really be 15, it might not be 20, but it's going to happen, and it's going to happen, so you got to address it. So the question really is what is the percentage? What is the percentage, and do we have the empirical data to be able to determine what that is, and balancing it, what do you think we can do about it? What should we do about it? And if that impacts the country that you, or the state, or the group of people that you represent, okay? Because we can, let's say you and I agree. Let's say you and I agree that we're not going to do anything to contribute to global warming. You and me, we're going to do it. All right. Mm-hmm. What does that mean? Does that mean we have to walk to work? Does that mean we have to grow our own food? Does that mean that we can't be on the electrical grid? Maybe we can do that, and I'm certain that a certain number of people in the earth could do that. In fact, they have many years before, really having any nominal effect. That I don't think anybody would agree or disagree with that, because we have historical records of not a lot of climate change and a small cooling period after the Industrial Revolution. So when you're looking at that and we come to that agreement, then you have to balance it with how are we going to impact, and can we impact in a degree for the people that we represent. And now I'm talking not because I don't represent them, but for the people that are at the climate change conference. They represent the countries that they're talking about. So if you say, for instance, tomorrow fossil fuels will be used by 50%, and people that believe that fossil fuels are huge, the biggest perhaps indicator, the burning of fossil fuels, the biggest increase in climate change. If you say that, okay, 50% tomorrow, we cut our emissions in America by 50%. Oh, and by the way, whatever that costs the standard of living of the United States citizens, then so be it, because we thought it's that important. We're going to put that on. But I think that most people would understand and have a understanding enough, at least a person who has some education, as certainly an adult, they would say, ooh, that's going to be a difficult issue. If we were to use less gasoline to run the tractors that bring the crops in, if we're going to, for people who drive trucks, we're going to use half the gasoline, so half the trucks will run. If we're going to manufacture something, half the manufacturing capacity will be lost, because it takes energy, and we are certainly not even close in energy sufficiency to be able to run all these things with electricity. Okay, so what the question becomes really is, A, what's the amount, and B, what are we going to do about it, and C, how's that going to affect everyone that we're supposed to represent? Because it's really easy to say, oh, climate change is horrible, we got to do something about it right now, and do as much as you can. Well, you'll notice that even on our own state, our politicians, I believe that Mr. Newsom said there's not going to be any gasoline engines, and well, it's not tomorrow, and it ain't next week, and it's not a couple of years down the road. It is far enough out that it can't hurt him politically. Because let me tell you something, when they shut the power off, if they said, you know what, we're generating a lot of that electricity we're generating a lot of electricity for our state right now with fossil fuels. The state doesn't really want to talk about that. The people that are kind of in charge up in Sacramento for the majority, they don't want to talk about that, but we're burning a lot of fossil fuels to keep our grid running, especially at nighttime. in the winter, we're spending, and in the summertime when it's really hot, we're spending a lot of fossil fuels. So if we were to say, okay, that's it, we're going to do something right now. We're going to turn off 50%. And you did that to the people of California, then, of course, you won't be in office very long. You could speak to Mr. Gray about that. But
well, I don't think any of this should have to do with politics or someone's term or whatnot. I think it's bigger than that. It's more important than that. And I don't know that I agree that just because a fact or a percentage is unknowable, that we still shouldn't try and do something.
Oh no!
And I also don't. I mean, I and forgive me if I'm misinterpreting whatever your eventual point was, but change is slow. So yes, I agree that we don't need to be alarmist necessarily, but I also agree that change. We see that something is unhealthy for our body, and we make a change. We may not get well that day or the next day, but we still make that change, and we gradually get better. So we see something that is unhealthy for our environment, and we take notice, and then we start to slowly implement litigation or rules to live by that we eventually change and make the world a little healthier as best we can. That's my sort of simple, unfortunately we don't have much time, but you see, so the experiment there, I mean, we didn't get to come to any kind of conclusion, because I'm still curious as to what your position is on that. But yeah, do you think it worked at all, or, I mean,
do I think what worked?
This conversation.
Oh,
we still love each other.
Obviously, we could go on for a few more hours on the
we
conversation.
Could easily, and let's continue it. Especially if Bobby can't come next week. Let's continue. And again, Tim Ben, thank you so much for being here. Canyon Theater Guild, please go and see Mamma Mia this weekend. It is the closing weekend of Mamma Mia. We want to thank our sponsors, the law offices of Lou Espin, and of course Matt Denny at Denny & Company LLP.